y'all. So I don't know about you, but when I go to school, I do not have time in the morning to put on makeup. And if I do, it's very, very minimal. Like I went to class earlier today and I barely had time to do my hair. Obviously, because it's looking all stringy and stuff. But when I do have time to put on makeup, this is the look that I like to go to because it's very simple and it's super, super natural and it only takes a few minutes in the morning. And I kind of switch this up. Not products-wise, but how many of the products I use. Let me try to rephrase that. I do what I can in the morning. So I don't necessarily do all of these steps. Sometimes I'll just stop after one step or another. And I am gonna go in order of how I would normally do these steps. So you can see I would stop after some of these products. I know I'm not making a lot of sense, but I think it'll make sense after I start. So let's get started. First thing that I do in the morning is I always do my skincare routine. I never ever skip it. I wash my face, I moisturize, or I use a toner and then I moisturize, and then I will get ready. So my face is already prepped and stuff. By the way, I'm using all drugstore products today. So none of these are high-end products. I have very few high-end products to begin with anyways, and you guys know that. The first thing that I like to do in the morning is my eyebrows. Some mornings when I have very, very, very little time, I will just run a clear mascara through my eyebrows just to make them seem a little bit more in place and tame. When I do have time to actually do my eyebrows, I like to use the E.L.F. Eyebrow Kit in medium, and I use this brush. This brush has no brand name. It just says Angle Liner. If anybody recognizes what this brush is, can you please let me know? Because I would love to know. And this is good, but I find that it's very, very thick at the top. Can you tell how thick? I think you can actually tell how thick that is at the top. It's very, very thick. So if you want a more precise brow, I would suggest going with a thinner liner brush, but this works really well in the mornings when I have very little time. And I also use this spoolie on a stick, which I think is very helpful for combing through my brows. I'm gonna zoom y'all in here. I like to comb my brows upwards and outwards because I feel like with my brows, they're a little bit crazy and I just kind of like to keep them all in place, and I feel like going upwards and outwards really works best with my eyebrows, but you can do whatever. And when I do go in with the brow kit, most of the time I only go in to the powder side. I very, very rarely go into the wax side. I've hit pan on both. This one major pan, this one minor pan. But I do use this one more regularly than this one. I also only fill in my brows. I don't outline them or anything. I just fill them in to make them a little less sparse. That's one brow with powder and one brow without. Okay, so there's both brows with powder, and now I'm just going to set them with the Great Lash mascara from Maybelline. I like this, but I do feel like it can be very, very wet and can kind of wipe away some of the product that you're using. So what I like to do is I like to undo the top, pull it out, and then wipe the excess onto the top, because it just helps to get all of the extra moisture off of there. So it won't be scraping off product as you apply it to your eyes. And again, I am just going up and out. One brow with, one brow without. This texturizes them a lot, so it looks a little bit more natural than just powdered brows. And there are both of my brows done. Some days this will be all I do in the morning because brows can really shape your face, and I feel like this makes your face look a little bit more put together than if you had not done anything. So the next thing that I'll do if I have a little bit more time and I wanna just give a little bit of coverage to my face, I will use concealer. I never, ever, 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 ever use foundation on a day-to-day basis because I don't feel like I need it. I just feel like I need a little bit of concealer to get me through the day. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and as you can see, he's almost gone. He's well loved, and I'm really sad to see him go, but I've got a new one waiting. And what I like to do first with this product is I like to actually use it to cover blemishes and any sort of redness that I have, and then I like to cover under my eyes. The light's a little bit bright, but I wanted you guys to be able to see my face. And there we're done. We're ready to go out for the day. And how I like to blend it out is with my Up and Up complexion brush. I love this brush. It was $6 from Target. It is the Up and Up brand, and just, oh, it's so good. It's so densely packed, and it's really good at blending in concealer, foundation, whatever you need blended in. This guy can do it. Put a lot of concealer on my forehead, and that it doesn't really need a lot of coverage. Why did I put so much up here? I do like to use my finger to blend in like around this area because it can kind of be hard to get in here with the brush. Even though it is a very small, dense brush, it can still be a little bit difficult to use up around there. And I am trying to avoid my eyebrow area as much as possible because the mascara, the clear mascara, is still a little bit wet. And so I'm kind of just giving it time to dry. And now I look like a vampire with my eyes all like that. I want to suck your blood. And after I'm done with my face, I will go on to do under the eyes. This might be the last use I ever get out of this little guy here. And I don't like to use a whole ton of concealer under my eyes because I don't want it to get cakey under there, because it has before and it's not fun. Cakey eyes are not fun. I'm gonna get the inner corners, especially on this eye. This eye for some reason is a lot darker than this eye. I don't know why. Maybe I just got smacked in the head as a kid. I know I got smacked in the head as a kid, but that's for a different video. That's a story for a different time. Then I just like to use the same brush again, but first I like to kind of pat it out with my finger because this is a little bit more of a gentler method than just using the brush. But I will go in with the brush to kind of blend everything further. And I also like to go up on my eyelids too, just to give them a little bit of coverage because those are also very red. Though some days I don't cover my eyelids with concealer and I just pretend like I have eyeshadow on. I am gonna go in with a little bit more concealer on this eye because again, it is darker than the other one. Not just on the camera too. I know that there's more light coming in on this side than there is on this side. This eye is just naturally darker, and I know I'm looking at the viewfinder right now, but it's because I wanted a visual for myself as well as for you guys. And I'm gonna go in with the brush just to blend everything out a little bit further. There we go. So now that that's done, I'm going to set my under eyes with a powder, and I'm going to be using Play-Doh. This is the Covergirl Loose Translucent Powder, and I think translucent light or light medium. But the packaging to that was so loved that it was actually broken beyond repair to the point where I didn't feel comfortable bringing it to school with me without, I feared that it would spill all over my makeup. So I repackaged it into this Play-Doh tin, and I'm just gonna put that on my E.L.F. blush brush. This is really, really good for setting your under eyes. I use this powder purely to set my under eyes. I don't use this on the rest of my face because I've only recently discovered that it has glitter in it, which I don't like. I would rather have a matte powder than I would a glittery powder, but it's a lot softer under the eyes than from the face powder that I'm gonna show you in a second. I'm gonna look up, so I'm gonna be looking down, but I'm looking up. So to set, because I've been told that's the best way to avoid creasing when I powdered, when I'm not. I do like to tap off the excess powder because my under eye area is so dry already that powders can really dry it out. I didn't used to like setting with powder, but I have to because if I don't, it will crease. But I tap off the excess to really make sure that I'm not overly drying out my under eyes. There we go. So sometimes that will be all I do. Depending on the time of year and how the weather is outside, really contributes to whether or not I powder my face. For the sake of this video, I'm going to. It is getting a little colder outside, but I don't think that it's gonna hurt my face today. It is a little bit warm, but fall is here. I use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in 120 classic Ivory. This is good, but I find that it doesn't leave you matte and poreless for very long, but as far as powders go, it's not awful. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect face powder. So if y'all know of any from the drugstore that you think would be cool, let me know. When I do powder my face, I kind of like to start at the center of my face and work outward because powder can be very drying. And so I like to use it in the places that are the, for lack of a better word, oiliest. And that would be on my nose and like on the T-zone really. I'm not using a whole lot because like I said, it is starting to get a little bit colder out here. I don't want to be drying out my face further, especially around here. Like this is where my skin is the oiliest, but right about here is where my skin is the driest. Kind of tapping it in and then rubbing it like to blend. Okay, and there's my powder done. And I know it looks a little bit shiny, but that's just because there's a light here. It's really not that shiny in person. All right, so on some days, this will be all I do. I will just do my brows and my concealer and then I'll be out the door. But if I have a little bit more time, I like to, weirdly enough, use an eyeliner on my tight line. I don't use eyeliner on my upper lid or on my lower lid. I just tight line it and then I sometimes waterline. And the reason I do this is because I think it makes your eyes look a little bit more full, if that makes sense. Like it kind of makes your eyelashes pop even if you're not wearing mascara, which some days I don't. Some days I'll just do this and be fine with it. But I find that this is really helpful to just kind of make you look a little bit more put together and awake and alive, basically. And oh, I forgot to mention, this is the Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal eyeliner in 01 Blackest Black. And I actually really, really like this. This is from the drugstore. Obviously, they're all from the drugstore. And tight lining can be a little bit scary. Obviously, I mean, you're putting this in your eye, but it just takes a little bit of practice. This is like the tickliest thing on your eyes ever. Ooh. Can you tell a difference between my eyes right now? I don't know if you can. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit, but can you tight line, not tight line? Can you see a difference? Because I really can. Someone just decided to bring a vacuum through the hallway. Don't they know I'm filming? So I did my tight line on both eyes and the lower waterline, and I only went about halfway over on the waterline because I feel like when you go all the way over on the waterline, sometimes it can be a little bit harsh unless you want like a deep smoky look to your eyes, but for this I kind of wanted it to be a little bit softer, so I only went about halfway over. And now I'm going to use some mascara. Some days this will be all I do, sometimes I won't even wear mascara and I'll just do this. Most days I do wear mascara and I use the Great Lash mascara from Maybelline, and I really like this. I think it's pretty good. Oh, and I'm gonna curl my lashes. This is not a necessary step, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm also gonna turn you off for this because you are dying. I don't know if you know this, but you're dying, and I need to preserve your life. So I'm gonna skip doing mascara. It's pretty self-explanatory. You do this. I mean, it's not rocket science. And there are my eyes completed. I just did a coat of mascara on the top lashes and on the bottom lashes. And normally I don't like to go too heavy on the bottom lashes, but sometimes I can't help it. And I mess up and I get so much on the bottom lashes and I'm just like, you know what? We're gonna roll with it. A lot of the times this is all I will do besides the other all I will do. If I have a little bit more time, I will go in with either a bronzer or a blusher. And it really just depends on my mood that day. Some days I want to feel a little bit more cutesy and like flirty, if that makes sense, and I'll go with a blusher. But on days when I want to feel a little bit more bronzed and sunny, then I'll go with a bronzer. This is a bronzer and blusher, but I don't really like the blusher. I just prefer the bronzer. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna do bronzer, okay? We're gonna do bronzer, and I like to use this contour brush from again, this isn't a label. This and the eyebrow brush and the spoolie and a bunch of other brushes came in a package, and I don't know what it's called, but it kind of broke, so I had to put tape on it to fix it. But I like to use this, and I like to just, in the bronzer. It's a little bit hard to pick up the bronzer. And obviously I've hit major pan, so you can tell that this is well loved. And I don't like to contour, I just like to bronze, so I kind of make the stupid face just to see where my line is, so it can kind of help guide. It just helps me, even though I'm trying to bronze rather than contour. It just helps me kind of figure out where I'm going. And I sometimes like to go down on my neck just to kind of bronze up the neck a little bit. And there we go. Can you tell that I bronzed at all? Because I don't know if you can. I mean, I think you can probably tell a difference. I can see a difference. I don't know if you can, but I can. And then I like to just go in and blend everything out further. I'll use either this stippling brush or this brush. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna use this brush because I feel like with the just minimal amount of product I have on my face, this will just be super simple to just blend away. This brush, I feel like it works better when I have a little bit more product on. It's really fluffy, nice, and again, freshly washed. I like to make the stupid face again and just blend it out. And there we go. We're almost done now. A lot of days when I want to go like full on makeup, this is what I'll do. This is like the maximum that I will do, but we cannot forget about the lips. And most days I will just go out with this lip balm, chapstick, whatever you want to call it. This is from my oral surgeon who took out my wisdom teeth, and it just is a really nice lip balm. And I feel like it just hydrates so well. And some days this was all I put on my lips, but I do have a few options if you wanna kind of put a pop of color in it. The first one I have is the Maybelline Baby Lips Lip Balms. And I have two kinds here. I have the Cherry Me, number 15 Cherry Me, and this is just a straight up lip balm. Or I have this number 40 Pink Me Up, and this is the Dr. Rescue. And the Dr. Rescue has a little bit of menthol in it, so it'll help kind of heal your lips. And if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely pick this one because I do feel like it helps heal my lips a lot, and it just makes them feel nice and soft and like baby lips, but I do like the color payoff on this one better. And sometimes I will use this. This is technically a lipstick, but I consider it to be a tinted lip balm like those other two. This is from Old Navy. I got it at Old Navy for $1, and I don't know what it's called, but it looks like this. And I broke it, so I'm gonna be a little bit careful, but that's what the color on the inside looks like. And it's really nice to wear on your lips. Like, it feels hydrating and it gives you a pop of color, and it's really cool. It's really good. And the last color option I have is an actual lipstick. This is the Wet n Wild lipstick in number 507 Blushing Bali. And this is the one I'm actually gonna put on for the sake of this video. And that's what it looks like. It's just a really nice pinky nude, I wanna say. But I am gonna put this on because it looks really, really nice, and it's really natural, and it's just a fun color to wear on your lips when you are out the door. And there we go. What I love about these Wet n Wild lipsticks is that you can get them anywhere for $1. This costed $1. And the color payoff and the way it wears is just so nice. And they're just, all of these lipsticks in their line are just amazing. I love them so, so much. So that is my makeup for school. Again, I do kind of stop after certain steps depending on how much time I have, but if I am going full out, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a good thumbs up. And if you really liked it, make sure you subscribe. All of the products I use will be listed in the box below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye! I do just want to give a disclaimer before I go. I've totally forgot to mention this, but most days I don't wear any makeup. Most days I just don't have time to put it on, and by just washing my face and toning it and moisturizing it, it feels fine, and you don't need makeup to get through the day. I certainly don't wear makeup every day. What you saw at the beginning of this video is more accurate to what I do on an everyday basis than this is. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer. This is just what I would do if I had the time to do it. All right, now I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.